Hey there, this is Jim Souhan, Star Tribune sports columnist. Today's guest on my podcast is Vikings receiver Jarius Wright, who made the game-winning catch and run against the Jets last Sunday. He's going to be talking to me about growing up in a small town in Arkansas, what he calls the natural state, having a father who was a soldier and a state trooper, what it was like playing with Percy Harvin, who have been the biggest influences on his career, and what it's like to throw up minutes after the biggest play of his career, which he actually did. I was there, I saw it, still trying to erase that from my memory. However you found me today, you can always find my podcasts on SouhanUnfiltered.com. You can also subscribe through iTunes, but the easiest way is just go right to the website, SouhanUnfiltered.com. Spells like it sounds. Last night I actually went on mnpubcast.com with my buddies Molly and Jason to talk about TV, movies, and a lot of non-sports things. You can always find that on their website. We're both part of the Alive and Social Network, which you can follow on Twitter if you want to check out all the different podcasts in the network. Thanks, Sean Bernard, for getting me involved with this. It's a blast. I've had so much fun with these conversations. Had great people. Last Wednesday, it was at Kieran's Pub in downtown Minneapolis. It's right across the street from Target Center. Despite all the construction, they are still open, and had Gary Louris, the front man from the Jayhawks, who's also doing a lot of solo work right now, a Minneapolis resident from one of my favorite bands of all time. He did a handful of songs at the end of our chat. We also talked music and sports and life in the public eye. And before that, I've had people like Glenn Perkins, Michael Russo, Chad Greenway, Craig Leopold, Paul Molitor, one of my favorite writers, Mark Craig from my newspaper, Ross Bernstein, the local author. And those are the kind of people I hope to continue having on. If you're interested in ever checking us out live, every other Wednesday I will be at The Local, the Great Irish Pub in downtown Minneapolis, 5 o'clock. And the other Wednesdays, I'll be at Kieran's, usually at 5 o'clock. You can always check me out on either Facebook or Twitter to get updated times and guests. The next appearance is next Wednesday, December 17th, 5 o'clock at The Local with former Twin Roy Smalley, one of my favorite baseball storytellers. Anyway, let's get to the Jarius Wright interview. He's a kind of a quiet guy, but very thoughtful, and you know, it's funny. It seems like he's been around for a long time. He's 25 years old. I guess he's only been in the league about 3 or 4 years now, and he has a very interesting perspective on life in the NFL and what it takes to be in the NFL. So again, SouhanUnfiltered.com, and here's my talk with Jarius Wright. I've covered a lot of interesting people from Arkansas. I was wondering, did you ever run across Torrey Hunter?
I hadn't actually got a chance to meet Torrey Hunter, but he lives 45 minutes north of where I'm
from. Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got to know Torrey in like 1993. I've known him ever since.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
I've heard a lot of great things about him, and like he's from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Right.
Yeah, which is southern Arkansas also. So
yeah,
I've heard a lot about him.
How about this is a longer shot, either Jerry Jones or Jimmy Johnson?
Jerry Jones, which we played in his stadium,
right.
Being from Arkansas. So I've never had a chance to meet Jimmy Johnson, though.
Yeah, and Jimmy just played at Arkansas, obviously. Jerry, yeah, I actually covered Jerry's first press conference right after he bought the Cowboys in '89, and that's when he stood up there and said, "I'm going to be in charge of everything from jocks to socks." He's a beauty.
Yeah, he is.
What was growing up in Arkansas like?
For me, small town Arkansas, pretty much country as it gets. A lot of, we call it the natural state for a reason. My part where I'm from, it's very natural, a lot of trees. Let me see.
So what do you do for fun when you grow up in the natural state?
You go outside and you play football. You play sports with your friends. You always get together. Like I said, we always play sports. So whether it was football, basketball, we played kickball, whatever it was to have some fun. We would definitely do that.
What was your favorite?
Back then, I was kind of a baseball. I was kind of a big baseball man. So I liked playing, the kickball, or when we was outside playing baseball. Me and one of my other buddies used to go in the backyard with a bat and a ball and throw to each other. Sometimes we didn't have a ball, so we would smash a can in what we call can ball.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Were you, I don't want it to come off wrong. Were you guys poor? Couldn't you not afford the ball, or you just didn't have one?
I wouldn't say we were poor, but I could say there were better things to spend money on than me losing multiple baseballs.
It's funny because I've traveled like the Dominican and Venezuela doing baseball trips, and they'll play with whatever they have. You know, milk carton for a glove, a rock for a ball, whatever they have, they'll play with. You know.
See, it was kind of like that. One of my good buddies, like he pretty much stayed behind me, so I spent a lot of time hanging out with him and everything. So, you know, if it was just us, we would, you know, make the most out of every opportunity.
Someone, I think Tom West mentioned that your father was a state trooper. Is that right?
State trooper, and he was also in the Army Reserve.
Oh yeah.
For 35 plus years.
You know, my dad was military, but he was a pilot. You know,
Okay.
which is a different thing. What's it like?
Still pretty big though.
Yeah. What's it like growing up the son of a state trooper and an Army reservist? Is he tough on you?
You know, it is tough, and for the simple fact of, I mean, I got to see my dad, but not probably near as, I mean, you know, I had a dad in my life. I can say that, but you know, for your dad to be staying with you and things like that, I really didn't get a chance to see him as much as I probably would like. Like I know when I was young, he was like in Desert Storm. I think it was 92, 93, somewhere around there. I might have been 3 or 4 years old. Barely able to remember it, but I remember a little bit. I see pictures of it and everything. And also, you know, state trooper, highway patrol. So he did highway patrol. So he was gone a lot of the, I would say nights, a lot of the nights, and you know he would get in late. But you know, he still did his best when it came to me.
And tell me if I'm going down the wrong road here. Do you guys still have a relationship? What's that like?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
We still have a great relationship. He comes up and watches me play, and any game that's close to Arkansas, he'll definitely be there. Was
choosing Arkansas as a school pretty easy, just because it's right there?
You know, it was easy. Not for the simple fact that it was right there, because where I'm located in Arkansas, it would have been just as close for me to go to Ole Miss. It was the exact same distance to go to Ole Miss than it was to go to Arkansas. So, you know, I could have made a decision and went elsewhere. But with me, I'm loyal to my state. I was born and raised in Arkansas. The people in Arkansas definitely showed me a huge amount of respect, and that's where I wanted to be for my 4 years of college.
Tell me about your relationship with George Stewart.
He's pretty much like a godfather to me. From day one when I came in, he pretty much took me under his wing and you know, showed me the ways and basically taught me, I wouldn't say talked me through my rookie year, but you know, with me not playing my rookie year and everything, he definitely, you know, helped me keep my head on straight and definitely helped me wait for my opportunity to play. And like I said, ever since I've been getting here, ever since I've gotten here, he's coached me so hard and helped me get, you know, so much better than what I was. And I can't say enough good things about him on the field, and this is also off the field. Just knowing Coach Stu off the field, he's also a great guy.
Is there anybody else in the organization who's had a big influence on you?
Let me see. I would say that was the biggest. That was the biggest influence. Of course, you know, every guy that you know, Coach Fick, which is special teams coach, he was in the receiving room my rookie year, so you know, he helped me. Coach Coos, Coach Stefanski, just some of the coaches that were here before, you know, the new coaches and everything came in. They definitely helped me get to where I am today, and you know, and even the new coaches, Coach Zim definitely, you know, pushes us hard and helps us get better each and every day.
What's the hardest thing about being an NFL receiver?
You know, a lot of people would think playing on the field, but you know, that's really, I wouldn't think that was the hardest thing, because you know, I feel like it's something we go out and do each and every day as far as being on the field. But probably the hardest thing as a receiver is just, I want to say film work, but there's more to it than just film work. But studying the game from outside of the football field, I should say. Studying your opponents, knowing your playbook, knowing, if I get this coverage, what do I need to do to get open? So it's more than just on the field things that makes a receiver, I should say.
It seems like being a receiver has become so much more complicated. I mean, I started covering the league when Jarius Wright was great, and I knew people who coached him, and they'd talk about the plays, and the plays, I mean, they were brilliant, but they were brilliantly simple. Now it looks like receivers have to make so many decisions on the fly.
Like you said, there are a lot of decisions made on the fly, and also, just depending on which position you're at, you have to know what to do. And some receivers get moved around and are forced to play different positions, and knowing the game plan and knowing exactly what you're supposed to do each and every play. So football is a lot more mental than a lot of people really get a chance to see.
Let's talk about your big moment. Was that the biggest play in your life, catching a game-winning touchdown pass in overtime, running it, whatever it was, 84 yards, 87 yards?
It was the biggest play of my life. At least up to this date, I can say that. It definitely was a great moment for my career, and the biggest thing I tell everybody, the most important is it was a win. Whether it was me or whether it was the next guy, I wanted to win that game more than anything, and winning comes first for me. But since I did make that play to help us win, I'm glad it was me.
What made that play work?
First of all, it was Teddy, or the play call from upstairs, which North did a great job of basically charting that they blitzed this. They blitzed us on third down, which I'm sure they charted it too. That's why they blitzed again on third down. So we did a great job of the play call, which we had 2 play calls called in that situation to where, if you get this coverage, you run this play. If you get this coverage, you run the next play. And Teddy saw, the coverage they gave us, and he was able to check out of the initial call, which set us up for the screen. And after that, Greg Jennings and Kyle Rudolph got out, and they pretty much helped set me free. They set 2 great blocks out wide, which took care of them 2 guys. And I broke one tackle myself, and I saw Sully, trying to work his way up to the next guy. So, it was really everybody around me that made the play work, and I had the easy part to do.
Now my buddy and my colleague Mark Craig walks up to you after in the locker room and asks for an interview, and then you had to excuse yourself for a second there.
I did. After that play, I never officially caught my breath. After running the play, I decided I would go celebrate with the fans, so I went and jumped in the stands, and I turned around. Well, actually, I'm pulled down by some of my teammates, so I get down and. It's a big celebration over there in the corner of the end zone. Okay, so that finally settles down. I'm walking back across the field, and now I saw all type of reporters, interviewing me and everything right after the game. And I never officially caught my breath, so and I'm sure my emotions were just out of control at that time. So, with a little emotions going wild, and me never officially catching my breath after, running 87 yards in OT, I think I was a little exhausted.
Ever do that before?
Oh, I have.
I had a track coach in high school who he thought it was a good thing if he threw up every day. I'm not sure that was smart, but that was his attitude.
But I have been known for throwing up and just keep playing through it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I call myself Willie Beeman on any given Sunday.
I love it. Let's wrap this up with some just offbeat type questions. Favorite TV show or movie right now?
Kind of into Modern Family right now. You familiar with that show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of into that show right now.
Favorite character?
Manny.
Yeah. Very nice.
I like Manny.
What are you listening to right now as far as music?
Kind of a Drake fan. I like Drake.
Okay. God, he gets around, doesn't he? Every time he puts on a sport,
he does. He does.
Answer this question if you can. I was wrong about
the NFL.
Oh, yeah? What were you wrong about?
When you first get ready to come out, or you hear all types of things about the guys you're going to be around, and, the people, and they don't care about you. All they care about is themselves, and, and making money and stuff like that. And that was definitely not true when I got here. And it's so funny to me because people always get a kind of a jaded view of Percy Harvin. When I first got in here, Percy was a guy that, he watched over me. He, if I did something wrong, he would tell me, or if he could help me with something, he always let me know. So, you listen to what people say, and you kind of get your idea of what you're walking into. But when I got here with the Minnesota Vikings, none of that remained true. If I needed help on the play, guys, they helped me out on the play. And it's not selfish. It's not a selfish place around here.
It's really interesting because I covered Randy Moss when he first got here too, and Randy and Percy both have done things that have angered organizations. They've gotten moved on. They've angered coaches. They've angered media. They've angered fans. But in each case, you can find teammates who say they were brilliant. They understood the game better than anybody else, and they took care of their teammates. At least certain teammates.
Yeah.
Did you? I can't remember. Did you come across Randy?
I didn't get a chance.
Oh yeah, I think he
Randy.
came in the year. That's right. 2011. You were still in college, right? In 2010, he was here briefly. Favorite teammate?
I have probably two or three, which are probably like my closest friends on the team, and Chase Ford and Cordell Patterson. Them are two of my best buddies on the team, and Ben Tate, since he got here, we've been becoming pretty good friends also.
Last question for you. I appreciate you taking the time. 25 years old. Is that old or young for a football player?
I think I'm about mid age. For a football player. I think 20 is young, and I think considered 30 is old in the NFL. So I feel like I'm kind of mid play.
And what's your kind of career aspiration here?
Me personally, I just want to make a difference, I guess. Whether that's, with football or after football, using football to make a difference in, maybe somebody's life or a lot of people's life. And whatever you can take from that. It's probably my biggest aspirations is to use my gift to help other people.
State trooper?
It might be. It could be it. My major is actually criminal justice.
Is it? Oh, wow.
So I've actually thought about that, and I'm definitely about all about the law and protecting people.
That's awesome. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. My thanks to Jarius Wright and the Vikings for setting up that interview. They've been very gracious in that regard. I had a great talk with Chad Greenway last week about his NFL experiences and his aspirations, how long he wants to stick around. I'm also starting a new podcast with Michael Russo, Star Tribune hockey writer, who has an incredible following and does a great job covering the Wild and the NHL for my newspaper, the Star Tribune, and we're going to be doing at least one a week. You can find the previous one we did last week, again, at SouhanUnfiltered.com, and we'll be putting out more information on how to hear that podcast in the future. Again, this is all part of the Alive and Social Network. Next Monday, I'm going to be doing a live podcast with Tom Linneman, my buddy, who I call the most interesting man in the world, Target executive, former St. John's national championship winning quarterback, and a guy who just ends up like in the green room with Bill Murray and partying with the Hold Steady. And every time I talk to him, he's in a different country, hanging out with a different celebrity. We'll get into his lifestyle next Monday. And again, next Wednesday, December 17th, 5 o'clock at the local with Roy Smalley. I love talking to Roy. I just ask him a couple questions, and he starts telling stories that you probably haven't heard before. Thank you for listening. Again, you can find everything at SouhanUnfiltered.com. You can follow me on Twitter at SouhanStrib, SouhanStrib. And we'll be back with more